think we're good. I think we're on. The slide's kind of weird, but it's fine. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to wait a bit because I just started. So I'm going to take my already made beverage and say hello to everybody who's joining in. I guess we're a minute early. I was ready. It's fine. I am back. I did this last year. However, I started I want to say for Thanksgiving. So in November, I started doing Instagram lives once a week, going through cocktail recipes. And it was really fun. And so I'm doing it now, 2 weeks before Halloween, which next Thursday is going to be really interesting because I will be planning for my party. So it could be really fun. But I am starting now up until Christmas time. So every Thursday or so, we might change the date depending on how many people show up today and how it's received. But we're going to do once a week up until the Christmas holiday to do a new cocktail recipe, a new idea, whether that's today is going to kind of be about fat washing, which is really exciting because I had this recipe that I made earlier for the 13 cocktails of Halloween. It was the Paloma. So I took that tequila that I fat washed with the chili crisp oil, and over the weekend, I personally made these spicy margaritas. They were absolutely delicious. So I wanted to kind of walk you through how I made those for today. So slightly different recipe than the Paloma. So you'll have 2 recipes now with this chili crisp infused / fat wash tequila. So I'm going to kind of walk you through all of this. I'm also here by myself. So I'm going to try to see if there's any questions that come in. So if you guys are tuning in and you're I can't stay the whole time, I will post this whole video of today's live on my Substack with the recipe, so you guys can have that. It's all in one place. But I kind of want, oh God, I've only been at this for a minute, so I want to get started because I have 3 cutting boards here. So we have 3 different stages of how we're going to go about today's class. And yeah, so we're going to do syrups first, then we're going to talk about the tequila, then we'll make our cocktail. Now, I will tell you this. I am going to batch this up for my Halloween party. I thought about maybe doing that today, but then I was that's wasteful because how do you save this cocktail for over a week, So I'm going to make the recipe for 2 people, and then I will also have the recipe to scale for a big party / punch bowl. So there's a lot going on, but it'll all be in one place after this. So just tune in, stick around. I'm going to sip my cocktail. So cheers if you guys are drinking with me. Okay, so we've been on for 2-3 minutes. I want to get started first with the syrup because this is going to take some time while we do everything else, and we need it for our cocktail recipe. So I've actually been asked a couple of questions about this cranberry syrup that you've been seeing for some cocktail recipes. I have the recipe. It's very easy. So what I do, I kind of switch it up every time. Sometimes I do rosemary or thyme, but this is kind of how I'm going to do it today. I have a cup of brown sugar that I'm going to put right in my pot. So we have 1 cup of sugar. Then we're going to do, I think I measured out my water wrong. So we're going to do a 1/2 cup of pure cranberry juice. This is the unsweetened kind. I added sugar. So I don't want the super sweet cranberry juice because then it's just going to be way too sweet. So I like to get the unsweetened, it's almost how would you describe the cranberry juice? It's very, not bitter, but you know what I mean? That cranberry tang. If it doesn't have sweetener in it, it needs it. So we're adding the brown sugar. I'm then going to do a 1/2 cup of cranberry juice because I'm then going to do a 1/2 cup of water. Now, another way you can do this too is to use real cranberries and just kind of cook them down, which is another great way. I haven't been able to find cranberries yet, to be honest with you guys. So we're doing the juice. So if I can't find it, I'm sure it's difficult to find for everybody else. So we have 1/2 cup cran, 1/2 cup water in our pot. I also, I left my cinnamon sticks at my sister's house, but that's okay. I have cinnamon powder, so I'm gonna do cinnamon powder. The reason why I say it's okay is because I'm gonna strain this all out. So I'm gonna do a healthy amount. of cinnamon. That was that. And then optional again. Also, like, you don't have to do anything from here. Like, you didn't even need to do the cinnamon. This would be your cranberry syrup. So I'm just adding all this extra just because we can. Another thing you could do is you could do, like I said earlier, you could do the rosemary, you could do the thyme. What else could you do? I don't know, what else would be a good flavor? Orange zest. I'm gonna do a little grapefruit zest. So just a little bit. One of the reasons why I decided to do grapefruit in the syrup this time, because I didn't do that last time, I'm using grapefruit in the cocktail. So I feel like it'll really tie in those flavors. Again, like, if I'm going out of my way to buy the ingredients, I want to make sure that I'm using them. And I feel like to fully use the grapefruit, because sometimes I buy too many, this is like a really fun way. And then you can also like zest your grapefruit, but still use the juice on the inside. Ginger would be, I'm saying that, ginger would be a fantastic add in your cranberry. So we're gonna add that in there, a little grapefruit zest. Now I'm gonna place this on medium heat until the sugar dissolves. And then I'm just gonna let this like fully cool. You could let it simmer, but I don't have the cinnamon sticks in here. I have the cinnamon powder. So you don't necessarily need to let it simmer like you would with the cinnamon sticks. So I'm not going to. But if you have the cinnamon sticks in here, let it simmer for about 5 to 8 minutes. So, okay, medium heat until the sugar dissolves. Okay, all right. That is step one, you guys. That is step one. I'm gonna get this out of the way until we strain later. So I'm gonna put this strainer off to the side. I'm gonna get this cutting board out of the way. I have this station, I swear, like one station at a time. Okay, syrup station, you're done. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about fat washing. You guys, welcome to my science lab. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have been following along. I am super into fat washing right now. I just did a couple of weeks ago a browned cinnamon, sugar, butter, fat wash bourbon, and it was delicious. Essentially what you're doing with the fat wash is you are taking fats, olive oil, bacon fat, it could be the butter, right? So you're taking a fat and you're mixing it with your alcohol. The fat and the alcohol they won't mix, right? So you'll see the oil will rise to the top. And so essentially you are like washing the spirit, and then you're gonna strain all the fat out. So when it comes to, you know, like the butter and the science, I've had people ask me about like dairy allergies and things like that. I personally, I don't know the ins and outs well enough to like put you one way or the other for like food safety. So don't ask me, Google it, or ask ChatGPT. But I can tell you that if you can do this, it's fantastic. It's delicious. It will level up your cocktails. Even if you do, okay, here's a perfect idea. When you make your bacon, save the bacon fat and put it in your bourbon and then fat wash it. It's like super easy. So I'm going to essentially tell you how I do this chili crisp oil. So I told you guys earlier to get the Momofuku chili crisp, chili crunch, whatever it is. There's a bunch of brands out there. I was at Sprouts today and there's like a whole bunch of them. So you can really go in any direction, but it's essentially that like chili oil that you want because it's so weird. I love spicy margs, but this gives like a weird back heat compared to the jalapeno, right? Where the jalapeno, I feel like it kind of like is spicy all over, but the chili crisp is like spicy in the back. So this is a really, really fun fat wash infusion. So what I've been doing is I've been taking about 2 tablespoons of this chili crunch is what it's called. You can do as little or as much as you want, but I'm telling you, you guys, I'm not a big spicy guy. This is so good. And we made the margs last week, and I literally wasn't gonna put this on the menu for my Halloween party, and I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. So, my 2 tablespoons in there. And then you're just gonna fill this up with your tequila. So I'm gonna fill it full. Again, I'm having a party next week, so the more the merrier. So I'm gonna let that infuse, right? I have my wet jar, which means I can close it up. All right. Also making sure I check my syrup. Speaking of syrup, I am going to just mix this really quickly. And you can like literally tell we're done here. So I am just gonna let this, turn the heat off, let it cool, sugar's all gone. So that's how easy it is to make simple syrup. So I know when there's a recipe, it seems really involved. Simple syrups are so easy. So okay, we have our chili oil in here. You're gonna wanna give this like a shake like this, probably every hour. I would do it for 4 hours. You can do it for 2 hours, you can do it overnight. But every so often, I would just kind of give it a little shaky shake, okay? Then, once you have that, okay, let's just pretend here. It's been 24 hours. We're gonna put this in the freezer because we want to strain this out really easy. So, we have this. It then turns into bear with me, this, which is your oil that has been in the freezer. It's really been in the freezer. This is embarrassing. Just hold on. I don't want to spill over. Okay, you know what, you guys? Just 1 second. Almost got, okay, whew. I got it. Sorry, that was embarrassing. Okay, so I'm gonna be real with you guys. I am really impatient, so I put this in about an hour ago, and I should have put it in before. I did the same thing earlier. I haven't been able to get a super solid, like, fat top, like we did with the butter. You know how it, like, is, like, a little cookie? I haven't been able to do that with this guy. And I think that that is due to, like, being impatient. But I saw online what people do is you take, like, a spoon and you essentially just, like, spoon out. Because, like, again, the oil will rise to the top. So you essentially just kind of, like, spoon out the oil that has settled at the top. So at least that kind of helps. So you're not straining forever. But again, I'm like, I don't want to lose all the tequila, so I only do a little bit. I don't do a lot. And then what you're gonna do, sip. Okay. So then what you're gonna do, so you've gone from this is gonna go in the freezer. Now we're here. This has been in the freezer. Now we're gonna strain, right? So I have this cute little contraption, which, by the way, Target, they don't sell it anymore, but it is like a cold brew, like a drip coffee. So if you Google that, there's like a couple of other options, but they don't sell this one anymore. I don't know why. So essentially, coffee filter. Okay, another thing you can do actually, which might be easier if you don't have this contraption, use a fine mesh strainer, put a coffee filter in there. You could also do a damp paper towel. Damp paper towel, you could put in here, strain it into a liquid measuring cup. Because I have this fancy contraption, we're gonna use it. But essentially you just pour it in here, and the coffee filter will filter out the spirit down under to keep all the oil up top. So really great when you're fat washing. The paper towel method, it does work, but perfect. World Market is great. I feel like Amazon too might have them. But the damp paper towel method works. It works the quickest. However, there's people out there who don't like paper towels, which is fine. So use a coffee filter, use whatever you're comfortable with. Just make sure you're straining out the fat. Now I will say, again, we're sensing a theme. I was impatient when I was straining this. So I did get residual oil specifically in this spirit in my tequila. I made a cocktail with it. The oil rose to the top of my cocktail. It was delicious. So if you have a little bit of oil that stays in, you know, after you're straining, that's okay. Like, we're at home and we're just here to make sure it tastes good, right? So you're good. So we have that, which then, so step 1, step 2, step 3, we have our tequila. So this is our chili crisp fat washed tequila. It's really not hard. It's just slightly time consuming and prep work. However, I will tell you this, it sets you apart from everybody else. If you're hosting and you come up with a fat wash, like a fat wash gin, which you guys, just because you're all here, I fat washed gin here today, and we'll be sharing that recipe soon. So again, you're taking you're fat washing a spirit, you're straining it out. Why do we do this? Fantastic question. Fat washing changes the mouthfeel of a cocktail. It almost gives like a silky, not like the frothy you would get with an egg white, just more so like that silky, slightly less sharp, well-rounded flavor of the spirit. It's one of the reasons why you wouldn't do it with like a super, super high-end spirit. Something in the middle ground is great because you still taste the spirit, but it creates like a really nice flavor and roundness to your spirit. So that's kind of why we fat wash. But again, I'm telling you, you guys, take the extra steps because it will make your guests leave and be like, oh my God, we're coming over every time for cocktails. So chili crisp, again, it'll be on Substack for like the full recipe and how to do that. And then just so you guys know, I made a garlic confit. This is so ridiculous. So essentially, and this stays between us, essentially I made a vampire repellent martini. So garlic. And so what I did was I made a garlic confit. I used that garlic and oil to infuse my gin. See, I made this at about 1 o'clock. So this has been going, right? Tonight, I'm going to put this in the freezer. I'm going to strain it in the morning. So that's kind of how it works. So essentially it's like a day full process, right? So, okay, we have everything that we need. I'm going to strain our syrup so then we can make our cocktail. I'm going to just put it on here just in case I spill a little. Okay. We've cooled enough. We're just going to strain. Again, we did the ground cinnamon, and then we also did the grapefruit zest. So you guys can see that. So that's essentially what you're straining out. You don't really want that in there. Now, this is an extra step and you don't have to do it. It's not needed at all. But you guys, I'm telling you, I don't think I've been a big vanilla paste person. I'm like, just grab the vanilla extract. Also, it's expensive, but I found this vanilla bean paste. It wasn't that expensive comparatively. And I argue it's 10 times better than vanilla extract. And I've been putting this like it's a secret sauce. Like it's just like salt on my like stick. Like I love this. So I'm going to add in a splash of the vanilla extract. And I add it now. Or it's the vanilla bean paste. You know what I mean? So I add in the vanilla bean paste at the end because a lot of times the vanilla does have alcohol in it. Yeah, see, this says it has like organic cane alcohol. Not that it's gonna like get you drunk or anything, but if you cook it and it has the alcohol, you'll cook down the alcohol and it'll take away from the flavor of the vanilla. So you want like the best flavor of that vanilla, especially because vanilla is expensive. Like we want the best flavor that we can get. So you always add it in after you're done cooking, if that makes sense, like for syrups. So I just kind of winged it, eyeballed it, just a little splash in here. And then you'll mix it. Now again, this isn't like super room temp, it's slightly above room temp. So it'll incorporate nicely, which is great. So this is our cranberry syrup. Again, super customizable. Don't feel like you have to completely follow my recipe. Use what you have. I should have done rosemary. I just didn't think about it until after I said it here on the live, and it's too late, you know? And that's okay. So now let me grab my other cutting board. Hold on. This is really good. Okay. So now cutting board number 3. Do you guys ever walk in behind door number 3? So here we go, you guys. Cocktails. So let me try to get organized here with this tiny screen. Okay. So I am going to make chili crisp margaritas. I'm telling you right now, it is a beautiful color. It's red, it's dark, it's moody, it's spicy. It is the perfect Halloween cocktail that isn't gimmicky, right? Like, because I feel like sometimes they can be overly sweet, overdone. This is amazing. I can't wait to batch this up for my Halloween party. So, because I'm not like super batching this up, unfortunately, because again, I don't want to waste, I'm going to make this cocktail for 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my syrup first. So I am going to do a full ounce of our cranberry simple syrup. So we have a full ounce there. Why a full ounce? Because we did a half ounce. I always like to only use about a half ounce of sugar in my drinks. Okay, this is a really good question about fat washing. I did do some research on this and I saw, which is, it's not frustrating. I just think nobody has like the right answer. I've seen mixed reviews. Some people will say to put it in your fridge once you fat wash things like butter. I assume it's things with like dairy. If it's fully strained, in my opinion, I think it should have a shelf life, cool, dry place for at least 6 months. So somebody asked, will it taste like milk or creamy? No. Again, so like with bacon fat, you'd get that like nuttiness from the bacon. With the butter, you'd get that like brown butter type of flavor. It's not creamy, but it gives you a very nice texture, a very nice mouthfeel. Like it changes the texture of the spirit and you can taste in the back end, like those slight notes of what you fat washed it with, if that makes sense. So it's not like you're going to have a creamy cocktail, like with an egg white, or if you're adding like dairy, if that makes sense. I also feel like I might've seen another question. Somebody said I've seen freezer as the answer. I have seen that as well. I don't know. I will do this. I'm not educated enough to have experienced one way over the other. From my experience, I have left it in a cool, dry place for over 6 months and it has been fine. If you were nervous, put it in the fridge. If it gets wonky in the fridge, then put it in the freezer. And if it gets wonky in the freezer, then you need to drink it quicker. So that is my answer for you. So we're going back to our cocktail. I've added an ounce of our cranberry simple syrup. I'm then going to add in our lime juice. And again, I have everything in here, prepped and ready to go. I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of lime juice. Again, always use fresh if you can. I know that I'm going to be batching these and I will do a big Costco order of limes. And then I have my electric citrus juicer. So I will, in fact, I don't want to, but I will juice them all. That'd be like a good task to delegate to somebody. But I will juice them all. I know it's a pain. Really good question that I get all the time. And we talk about it on my podcast, The Art of Drinking, with Join Jules and your favorite Uncle Brad. We talk about how far in advance can you juice citrus, which this is a really great question. So I think it was Brad who said like his mom, or maybe he knew somebody who said, my mom would always juice lemons in the morning to have perfect lemonade in the afternoon. So a lot of times people will say, you need to use your citrus right away. But do you see that I just used, and we just got 1.5 ounces right there. So I just used 2 limes. And this is one of the reasons why they say juice in the morning, use perfect lemonade in the afternoon. Each lime will have different acidity levels, right? One is going to be a lot more tart and sour than maybe another one that maybe is slightly drier, that isn't as, juicy, right? So if you're juicing a lot, and it's all incorporated at once, you let the flavors all mellow together to create one solid flavor instead of juicing and then you have different consistencies. Again, this is all very much like, will you really tell? Some would argue yes. But all of this to say, you can juice, like I will juice my limes in the morning, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., to make my cocktail at about 5. So you have a couple of hours to play, but airtight container in the fridge. I've frozen, I put it in the freezer, my lime juice too. So it's up to you. So 1.5 ounces of our lime juice. I'm also going to add in, I don't think that this will fit. It won't. I'm also going to add in 1 ounce of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. Now, this was so good. I had these left over again for that Paloma recipe that I did with chili crisp oil. And so I just had it left over and I'm like, oh, I'm going to just throw this in here. Maybe it'll be a good flavor. Again, I was totally just messing around and oh my God, but I love grapefruit. I wish I had a grapefruit squeezer because it's a lot of handwork. Okay, almost there. So 1 ounce, I need like a work towel here. Okay, 1 ounce of our fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. Okay, we're then gonna do 1.5 ounces of our orange liqueur. I'm gonna use Cointreau. You could use Grand Marnier, but I think the Cointreau for this is nice because it's like light, where the Grand Marnier uses a cognac, which I don't think would be, comparatively, I think that this would be better for it. So we have 1.5 ounces there. And then I'm gonna add in 4 ounces of our fat washed chili crisp tequila. So 4 whole ounces into our cocktail shaker because it's been a day, folks. I don't know about you, but I was rocking and rolling here in a good way, but I'm tired as hell. So, okay, that is for 2 cocktails. Now bear with me, I did add this ice in this Yeti, like 30 minutes ago. So I'm gonna just take my spoon. Okay, no worries. All right. And then while I'm already making noise, we're gonna add ice. It's really embarrassing, but we're gonna add ice to our glasses. Do not judge me right now. It's fine. Where's my ice bucket? Great question. I wish I could tell you. Okay. Ice in our glasses. We're then gonna shake this on up. I don't think I forgot anything. Okay, good rule of thumb is when it's too cold to hold, we're good. Also, another thing, you'll want to make sure that this is flush, this is open for a tight seal, because you don't want that to like fling back on you, right? So it's just good rule of thumb. And then again, you push against it to release the pressure. Now we're gonna double strain. I'm gonna put these right in front. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so now we're just gonna double strain. You know what's really funny is I feel like it was slightly more red when I made this before. And I think that's because when I strained my tequila, it was, there was oil still left in my tequila. So that created like that red, like the chili crisp oil. So if you guys want to try it and leave a little bit of oil in your tequila for color, I say go for it. But if you want like a clean, oh, I got a garnish, you guys. Grapefruit. If I were to make these Halloweeny, I would do the peppers and the peppercorns, or do like, what else could you do? Like little spider ice, which is cool. But they have your chili crisp. What are we calling this? Just a chili crisp margarita? I am telling you, you guys, it is the weirdest sensation to have that chili crisp just like smack you in the back of your throat. Like, and I know that sounds bad. Just forget that. But you know what I mean? Like to hit you in the back end rather than like messing with your whole flavor palette. It's so good. Like it's so good. And I love it because it's so unique and different. And again, it can only be possible if you fat wash with that chili crisp oil. So I love this. Like I will have this on deck now, like for years and years to come. I just think it's such a fun thing to have. And again, it takes like a day and a half, but it's worth it. Again, I think when people can leave your place with like something so memorable, like our friends are still talking about this drink. So I'm going to batch this up. Okay, so How would I batch this up? Well, again, we talked about citrus juices, right? We talked about how I would prep that in the morning and then I would put it all together for whatever pitcher or whatever drink dispenser I'm using. So if I'm batching this up, the way I like to batch is I will take a cocktail, 2 ounces tequila, 3/4 of an ounce of Cointreau, 3/4 of lime, 1/2 ounce sugar, 1/2 ounce grapefruit. Take the ounce out of that and change it to cup. So now you have 2 cups, 3/4 cup, 3/4, right? So that is a fantastic way to start that. Now, another good question that people always wonder, like, well, I'm not shaking these. Like, how are you gonna, like, do you need to shake these? So I have 2 solutions for you there. So you can either, the easy solution, you can dilute it yourself by adding water. So for like the 2 cups of tequila, like that ratio, which I'll probably put up, I would recommend a 1/2 cup of water. People like to start with a 1/4 cup, but that also depends on if you're serving it in the pitcher with ice. So I don't serve my drinks with ice. I let my guests grab their glass, add ice to their glass, then they add the cocktail to that glass. So then that ice is going to melt a little bit. Where if you're going to have your pitcher filled with ice and then pour the mixture in there, that's going to dilute a little bit too. So I would do the 1/4 cup of water. So it's definitely up to preference, but you can always, here's the rule of thumb that I've always been taught. You can always add more. It's harder to take away. So start with a 1/4 and then work your way up. But I think that that's great. The other option, which is really, really fun, especially for parties, kind of, because then you have to clean up. But anyway, put the mix out. No dilution, no water, no nothing. Have a cocktail shaker right there. Have your guests shake the cocktail and pour it in their glass themselves. That way you are getting a really nice, like, shaken cocktail properly, rather than, you know, the batched has its shortcomings a little bit, right? Like a shaken cocktail will always taste better. So you can have your guests shake it themselves right then and there. And, you know, that would work, especially if they're shaking the same cocktail every time. You wouldn't necessarily need to full on clean the shaker. You can just dump and rinse and bring it back. So that's a really great option too. So I want to double check. Did anybody have, I'm like trying to catch up. Did anybody have like any questions? I know that it's always hard because there's so much to say. But if you guys have questions, I'm looking at the feeds now. Will you guys send me your questions and I'll answer them for like the next 5? What fruits am I shaking? So I am shaking grapefruit, lime, cranberry syrup, orange liqueur, and we did our chili crisp fat washed infused tequila. So that's kind of what's shaken here. Somebody asked what chili oil. I just got disorganized. Okay. I did the Momofuku chili crisp, but there are a lot of sorry, I got a boozy simmer pot going on. There's a lot of brands in Sprouts. The Momofuku is the one that I personally like, but I feel like you could definitely test out. But, you know, I will say this, you guys. I did look at the ingredients. The Momofuku does use grapeseed oil. Good or bad, I don't really know. So just good info to know. I didn't know what oil they use, but I found out it's grapeseed oil. So I'm not sure if that's like, yeah, good oil, bad oil. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what we did. Again, recipes will be on my Substack. We will do how to fat wash, cranberry syrup, how to make a margarita for 2, and we'll batch it up. So that'll be good. Any other questions, you guys? I feel like that was pretty good. Like, I had my stations out. We made the cocktail. I was really stressed there for a minute. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to be doing these once a week again until the end of the Christmas holiday. So this is spicy. It was giving Halloween. Next week, I don't know how the live is going to be next week because I will be setting up for my Halloween party. So maybe it's going to be prep, like how I prep for my Halloween party. So that'll be interesting. And then, yep, I can share. Somebody asked, can you share your vanilla paste? I can. Yeah. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right here. Huh. Okay, so this is the Simply Organic vanilla paste. I can't remember if I got this at Whole Foods or if I got this at Sprouts. I might have gotten this at Whole Foods, to be honest with you. Which I think they have it at Sprouts, but love that. I love that stuff. Now, I'm totally sold. So next week, Halloween party, and then after that, it'll be Thanksgiving. So if you guys want to join the group chat that I have on Instagram, you guys can send questions, requests for the following weeks. Thank you. And yeah, I wanted to be here as we get into the holidays and help you guys out. So send me any questions, concerns, always willing to hear what I'm doing wrong and learn. So, okay, somebody asked how the studio is going. I'm building a studio. It's going, and I think spring 2026, we will have our official launch party. So stay tuned for that. Until then, you're going to be in my home kitchen, which is also fun. So there we go. Okay, I'm gonna tune out. We were here for about 35 minutes. I will see you guys next week. If you weren't able to make it, then, you know, we got a couple weeks coming up here. So cheers to you guys. If you need any help, go to joinjules.com. Bunch of recipes on there. And then follow my Substack, Join Jules. So, okay, cheers guys. Enjoy, have fun, happy hour. I will talk to you guys later. All right, I'm logging off now. Okay, bye.